Hello everyone, this is Direwolf20 and welcome to episode 90 of Direwolf20's Let's Play series. As you can see, I'm still working on my new base. I'm actually building out another room, similar to the size of the room that is currently storing my reactor, is going to be the room that's responsible for storing all my liquids. And I'll probably have some kind of transport, like just a wall or something. We'll see, some kind of door to get over there. Probably nothing too fancy though. But the main purpose is storing liquids, because I want to start transferring over some of the liquids that I have. I also want to start transferring over just a few other things from my main base. Now, not everything is going to get teleported over, only stuff that I really need to, or, would be beneficial to teleport. Like, it would have been a hassle to rebuild this entire tree farm, but I was able to transport it over here instantly thanks to MFFS. Now what I am going to do is manually move over a few things, but the tanks, for example, which I don't feel like emptying out and then having to refill, are going to probably wind up coming over by way of MFFS teleport. But I'll probably handle that off camera, because as you know, you guys have seen that already, so I'm probably not going to replicate it. I'll just, let her be. So for today, what I'd like to work on is the basic mechanics for how I'm going to get items around in my base. So I really don't have much cobblestone, do I? Probably have some somewhere. So what am I going to do? Well, I want to make this as high-tech and as efficient as possible. So we're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff for that. We'll also be seeing some of the more advanced features that Applied Energistics has to offer, and we've got mushrooms, hooray! I'm going to have to figure out a way to prevent mushrooms from spawning. That'll be fun. So yeah, because I have grass here, I have to prevent mushrooms from spawning. I guess I could replace all the grass with dirt. Do they spawn on dirt? Only grass, right? And if I replaced all the grass with dirt, yeah, we'll see. I don't know. Or I'll come up with some fancy way to get rid of them. Yeah. Not that I don't like mushrooms, they're cool, but, this is a mushroom biome after all, so I'm going to have to keep that in mind. Alright guys, so we will come back in just a few minutes here. Let me let this finish building over here. How's my power doing? I've been kind of keeping a nice tight balance between the speed modules in here and the speed modules in here to try and make it so that, we don't have too crazy of a power system. It's just so fun to watch this thing build. How cool is that, huh? Gotta love it. So yeah, more base building this episode. But the good news is that you guys get a world download at the end of this episode. So what I'll try to do is make sure that this episode wraps up with some pretty cool stuff, right? Because I want to make sure that you guys, get a nice little episode that you can download at the end of this and have a pretty cool base. I want to do my best to have as much moved over as possible. Obviously, I can't finish migrating the entire base this episode, but we'll do our best. Alright guys, this thing should be done now, so I can turn him off, and, we'll be back in a minute. Alright guys, we're back. One of the things I want to move right now, before I do too much else, is this setup here. So I've grabbed a filing cabinet. I'm hoping, yes, I can store all my patterns in my filing cabinet. That, my friends, is very good news. The main reason that that's good news is it's going to allow me to transfer all this stuff without too much trouble. So let me get this moved over. Shouldn't be too bad of a process. Now that I know this, I could teleport this if I wanted to, but because it's so easy to move like this, remember I told you guys, the more stuff you can avoid teleporting, the better, because you just never know how things are going to react to the fact that they're being teleported, right? So it's all good. So that looks pretty good. Just grab all this stuff here. That's looking awesome. And then what I can do is start moving over my machines. I'm not going to move this stuff just yet, but I will very shortly. And I can also grab this guy. Come here, you. There we go. Now I can break this down because there's nothing in it. So let's break this apart. This is the point that if I really wanted to, I could probably expand this thing. Let's see, I've already got about half of its inventory filled up of recipes for crafting. I don't know if I need to, I don't think I need to expand it just yet, but what I will do is make sure that in the new area that I'm building, I'll make sure there's enough space to expand it to a, larger area if I need. Right now I've got like, what, a 5x5, I think? Probably. So I could expand it to 7x7 if I needed to in the new locale. Cool. So that'll be that. And I want to show you guys what I have planned for the new location for doing stuff. So what do I have in here, by the way? I've got 5 crafting CPUs and 3 pattern providers. That's probably not too shabby. Yeah, keep that as is. So let's take a look. Hopefully the building has finished. Oh yeah, look at that. It looks like it's done. Awesome. So I can turn this guy off and make myself a nice entryway. And remember, guys, I know this is just all stone brick, but I'm going to do my best to make sure that it looks pretty fancy once we get it upgraded. So let's see. This is going to be my auto crafting room. I'm just trying to decide. Is this probably enough space? Should be. I mean, I could have stuff on the walls and everything too, so that should help out. So the more efficient that I can be with things, the better. But long story short, what we'll have here is auto crafting in the one corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe I should have made this a little larger. Might not be a terrible idea to expand this room a little bit. Alright, I'm going to bump this out a little bit more, and I'm going to do that by using some scale modules. So what I've been doing is removing my field stabilizer, clicking on my force field. Let's scale it out 2, 2, and I'm going to go 2 more on the north face as well, so that we'll wind up with something that looks like that. That looks pretty good. So I'll just give me a little bit more space, and I think that'll be good. I thought it was enough, but now that I'm looking at it, not loving it. So all I got to do is kick on the good old field stabilizer module there, and it should start building that out. So I'll be back in a minute after I clear this out a bit. There we go. It's still building up, but this looks like a pretty decent room to call the auto crafting room. So this is where all automatic crafting is going to handle. Anything from the ores coming in from my mining system to any requests I make from my auto crafter with Applied Energistics, that'll all happen right here. So let's take care of building up the auto crafting machine, and I'll be back in a minute. Alright, so got some cabling run under here. That should be good. That means that my crafting system should be plugged in. Let's see if that's correct. All I got to do is, yeah, look at that. So you can see all the crafted stuff here. Or I could switch it over to craftable items, whatever. But I should be able to say, for example, craft me a sticky piston or a regular piston, and then we can see that we've got pistons, and that's cool. Nice. So 18, let's ask for 2 more. Should get 20 at some point. Maybe. Potentially. You know what I should do is grab a crafting monitor, and then I'll know for sure. And I should have one of those back at the main base. Cool. So let's see. Crafting monitor. There we go. Oh, missing cobblestone. Well, there you go. That explains that. Here I'm like, oh, this will be easy to craft. Oh, I don't need anything for that. Apparently not so easy when you don't have any cobblestone in your system. Speaking of that, I should also consider what I'm going to do about that. Oh boy, that's right. I should have remembered. One downside, something I just recently discovered, or at least semi-recently discovered. Looks like Ars Magica mobs don't acknowledge that whole no spawning in mushroom biomes rule. Yeah, unfortunately. So, yeah, we've got mobs spawning in here. That's awesome. So it looks like we definitely have some form of a bright age here. What I'm going to do is go get my magnum torch from my main base and just transfer it. So I've got a magnum torch around here somewhere. Where did I put that thing anyway? Somewhere in the center of my main base. Come on, there we go. There it is. Cool. I know I put it somewhere nearby. So I'll just steal this guy from here. So now mobs can once again spawn in and around my base. But that's not a problem because I'm moving to the new base anyway. So just a heads up, it's not totally safe. I'm just going to go ahead and stick this guy somewhere cool. Like, I don't know what kind of range this thing has. So I'm just going to put it here for now. And if that's good, that's good. For now, I'm just going to do that. Alright, so the new base looks like it's working out pretty well. I wouldn't mind getting over some of my other crafting stuff. So let me switch that over as well, and I'll be right back. So guys, remember when you're using your wrench, put on lossless mode. It uses more power, but it pretty much ensures that you're not going to have any problems. I'm going to move my IC2 stuff first, but what I want to do is make sure you're aware of something. Not enough power. Wow, it really uses that much? Goodness. Alright, so I'm guessing I'm out of power everywhere. Alright, so... Alright, one of the things I wanted to show you, and I guess what I'm going to do, just to make sure that this is not too bad, Let me get a battery here. Alright guys, so next up we've got something that's going to be pretty interesting, or at least I hope it is for you guys. What I'm going to do is set up my extractor and induction furnaces and macerator much the same way that I had them all running before. So let's go for example, let's see, I think before the way I had it set up was this guy automatically output to the bottom. So we should have for auto processing 1, 2, 3 smelters and 1, 2, 3 macerators, right? And the macerators each auto output to the bottom, much the same way we had it before. And I'll do the overclockers in a minute here. And I think we also had transformer upgrades in each of these guys, because that's important to have. And then I had a separate macerator and induction furnace here, and I probably had a couple levers going on. There we go. That looks good. Next up, we've got Emmie interfaces. So, for example, this one's pre-configured. I guess that's the one that we had there, and we should face them downwards. And I've got another filing cabinet filled with recipes. So all this stuff, for example, I have to figure out which one goes where. So a smelting recipe, glass to sand is smelting, silicon to nether quartz dust, yes. Circuit plates from stone, that's smelting. Dust is not smelting. Crafts a clay jar, that's smelting. Crafts, that's smelting. That's smelting, and that's not smelting. So these two go into here. And then nether quartz dust goes in here. We've got an Emmie advanced processor, red alloy compound, dirt. I guess that's smelting, right? Maybe that wasn't. I don't know. How do you make dirt? Do you smelt or macerate? You macerate. Okay, so that explains it. So that's that. Okay, cool. And then we also had a, well, that's a macerator, so I had an extra macerator. Beats me, guys. I don't even know what I have anymore. Must have had 2 macerators for a reason. I don't know what they are. But I also had an extractor, which I'll manage to deal with that in a minute. So what do I want to do that's interesting or cool with this system? Well, let's take a look. First off, I want to introduce you guys to the P2P tunnel. This is cool. Let's take a look. So right here, I've obviously got my MFE, which I'm charging up and doing some cool stuff with. What I'd like to do, is that a good spot for it? I could probably actually move it down one. I believe these guys retain their energy now. They do, so that's cool. So we'll put him there, and oh, that's a good point. Ran out of wood again. I better move this. Well, the P2P tunnel is going to help me with the moving of things. So what I'd like to do now is get some of this gold insulated cable. And I'm going to hook that up right there. Yeah, it's probably a good spot for it. Why not? So where's my nearest connection? Oh, that's actually good. I'm running some stuff right up there. Perfect. So what I'm going to do is have a cable line here, and I'm going to run it into what's called a P2P tunnel. And the way this thing works is you can peer-to-peer with other pieces of the network. All you got to do is right-click with whatever you want it to connect to. Notice when I right-clicked it with the insulated cable, it changed the color of the P2P tunnel. What that means is now this P2P tunnel is bound to be an IC2 power transmitter, and it also allowed the IC2 gold cable to connect into it. So now we're able to transmit industrial craft electricity through our Emmie cabling. Awesome. So that's what I'm going to do. I don't need to run all kinds of different power lines all over the place. Forget that. All I got to worry about now is coming up here, finding my way towards where the power has to go in for this cool stuff, and figuring out how I'm going to do all the neat things I need to do. So I probably want my power to run into the back of all these machines. Does that sound like a smart idea? I think so, because that just seems like a smart idea to me. So all I should really need is some cabling into the back of the machines, and we'll do this as well. And then we could probably just have some cable here and then over here. So let's actually do it here. So this is what I mean by being as super efficient as possible with wiring. We don't need to have, you know, all kinds of wire running over the place. Now, One downside is you can't really transmit RF power through this, and I use RF power a lot, but don't worry, I found a workaround that I'm excited to show you guys. So if I hook this up right, we should be getting power to all our machines now. Hopefully, I did. Alright, maybe not. I expected power to be coming across the line here. Let me go see what I might have done wrong. This, in theory, should be working, but P2P tunnel. Oh, right, there's one more thing I need to do. That's right, I forgot. There's one step I need to do. Let's take a look at Applied Energistics. There's an item I need to get, and it's this guy, the memory card. So let's see what's involved in getting that hooked up. So the bus, memory bus thing. Not too hard to craft, I just need to get myself one of these. Do I have the resources? Yeah, I do. The only thing is I don't have the power to smelt, so I need to run back home real quick. My original home, that is. I've been temporarily running back and forth here and using this redstone furnace, as you can see. I don't have much power left in it, but this will at least get the job done. That's right, I forgot there was that one step. So these two P2P connectors are aware of each other, but they don't know that they're supposed to be talking to each other just yet. That's what we need to use the Emmie Bus card for. What this does is allows you to bind to one P2P tunnel, for example, this one. Shift right click binds the memory card. So that just now recorded all the information about the P2P tunnel. All we have to do now is come over here and regular right click, no holding shift. Boom. And that will load the settings from the memory card, and now we should be getting power. Nice, look at that. We are. Awesome. So we're transmitting power across our Emmie cabling. Beautiful. It's really going to be cool to be able to pretty much only use one type of cabling across our whole base. Now, can I do the same thing for items? You bet. But I'm not going to worry too much about that. What I'm probably going to wind up doing is doing import and export buses. So yeah, that might be a good idea. So how am I for import and export buses? I've got a basic import. How about storage bus? Do I have one of those easily handleable? Alright, so let's get ourselves an interface. ×3. And I'm probably going to need to get the basic import buses. So these guys will probably want to have on the bottoms of these machines that autocraft for us. So let's do that. So these are the induction furnace, basic import bus, macerator, basic import bus. What I should probably do, so I don't have to... Let's cut this cable real quick. Good, I caught it. Always a little risky working above the void, but what are you going to do? So I don't know if this retains its memory settings. Oh. So you'll want to go ahead and right-click with this guy again, and then because this memory card still remembers where it's tied to, a simple right-click will load the settings back in, and it should be supplying power once more. Awesome. So now we should be functional with our induction smelter and macerator. And I should be able to get a storage bus ×3. Where's that interface? Still crafting. Why? Because we are missing Emmie basic processors. Oh, I know why. Haha. Pretty easy explanation, honestly. There we go. Now it should be aware that it can craft. Now we're talking. Look at that. Cooking right along. So what I'd like to do is have, like I said, as advanced a base as possible. So let's get our storage buses here. That should be good enough. Let's come over here and see. Can I just tap into the bottom of this stuff? 1, 2, 3. I might even be able to do 4. But for now, I'll just stick with 3. Whoops. Cool. And I should then be able to export bus into this guy. This is the steam turbine. Okay, so let's get an Emmie basic export bus. That's import. I wanted export. I should be able to tap into this. Hope it doesn't need to be from the top. I didn't think it would. Look at all these cows. Alright, it must not be reading the number of items that I have correctly, because obviously it's able to handle that. So, that's cool. Let's go ahead and get ourselves a basic processor real quick. Smelt it up, please. There we go. Because we are going to want this thing to populate pretty quickly. Precision and just some cabling will do. There we go. And you are to export stacks at a time of wood. Awesome. Now our steam oven's going to work again. That's what I wanted to see. Alright, we'll be back in a few minutes, guys. Alright guys, next up, I want to make sure as I'm clearing out my old base that I have plenty of, let's say, ability to transport items back to the new base. And for that, believe it or not, I'm actually going to use one of the few pieces where I'm going to keep using logistics pipes. It's going to happen right here. Let's see, an Emmie interface. Well, I don't know if this is really the best spot for this. Maybe it's not. Yeah, I don't think I like this spot. Where's a good spot for this? Probably actually maybe right here. Yeah, this might not be terrible. How are we for power near here? Because basically I want to have the interface and the blue input chest. And all I want is logistics chassis pipe Mark II. And his job will be to transport items. So I'm going to put my extractor module Mark III, because believe it or not, there's few things in this set of mods that can transport items out of a chest as quickly as the transport pipe here. So let's just get a power junction. We can just hook it up right behind it, and then we just need to run power to it. So for that, all to do. So let's just test this out real quick. Make sure that this works. Scale modules. Alright, so things are starting to accumulate in there, obviously, but they're not coming out just yet. Shouldn't really need too much more than that, right? Maybe he has to be one higher. Maybe he's confused because he's attached to so many inventories. Let's see. So we'll stick the extractor module in there. Oh, you know what I probably need to do? Well, shouldn't really matter too much. Yeah, I bet that's probably what it is. Let's put a logistics pipe here, and we'll set this guy to be the item sync module. So for now, that should work. Or not. Alright, let me futz with this. There we go. I just placed down a basic logistics pipe, and now things seem to be behaving. So, toss away some stuff, and they should be pulled right in. Awesome. We can check in here and just see, cool. Alright, looks good to me. Oh, and you should also note that I just rehooked up my wireless access point, so now I can access this thing remotely. Nice. Closing up the holes in the wall. I'm trying to make this look as good as possible, because, like I said, one of my goals is to make this base look really cool once I'm done getting the basics installed. How's this room look, huh? Nice. Everything's well hidden. Alright guys, so here's the final trick for this episode for you guys. What I'm working on making is some transfer nodes. So hopefully I've got enough of this stuff. I can do this, and there we go. That should be cool. What I'm also going to need are some pipes. So let's get some wooden pipes. I guess I don't have any, huh? Okay. So wooden transfer pipes, but we're going to combine those with redstone and get redstone pipes. Cool. Oh, I got more than I expected, but that's alright. So what am I doing? Here's the trick. You ready? I need also another one of those peer-to-peer guys here. So let's see. Let's get ourselves some more advanced processors. I'm probably going to want a lot of these eventually, so might as well start cooking them up now. Might as well get some of these guys. And we'll also get some conversion matrices. At least one for now, hopefully. Oh, short on nether quartz. Alright, back in a few minutes. Alright guys, so here's the deal. You ready? You cannot transfer RF power using the peer-to-peer tunnels. You can transfer Buildcraft power, however, and as we know, those two are pretty related to each other, aren't they? Not super duper related to each other, but related enough. So let's get a few things here. Let's make sure we've got everything set up the way we want for this room, for example, and then we'll get into stuff in a minute on how this is going to work. So first off, redstone furnace. That can probably go here. Where's my macerator pulverizer thingy? There it is. And then we'll have an induction smelter, we'll have the magma crucible, we'll have the fluid transposer, and we'll have the energetic infuser. Cool. So let's pretend like we wanted to have a bunch of power run into these guys. Probably not a terrible idea. Alright, so what we'd want is some redstone energy conduits. There we go. So how are we going to manage this? Well, let's go through the wall here and see what we've got nearby. Ah, we happen to have a power line right here. Well, it's not really a power line. It's actually an Emmie cable line, but that's all right. We can handle this. What we're going to do is set up the following little trick to allow us to transfer redstone flux power through Emmie cabling. Ready? All right. All we need is a P2P tunnel down here. And remember, RF power translates directly into Buildcraft power, right? So all we need to do is hook up like so. If we put this guy on that and said, you are now transferring Buildcraft power, it should connect automatically. Also, we're going to need to shift right click this guy to save the settings. So Buildcraft power, or RF power, is going into this network and being converted into Buildcraft power. Because RF, when traveling through redstone energy conduits, automatically converts to BC power, right? So now that that's happening, BC power does not, unfortunately, automatically convert back to RF, unless you use a little trick. And that's what I'm about to do here. So let's put this guy on. We're going to flip him around there. Let's actually do that. Okay, we're going to set this guy's output, and we're also going to right click to load the settings for memory card. Now, because this is a Buildcraft power provider, you need to go ahead and put a wooden kinesis pipe here. Take my word for it, it's necessary. And as you can see, there is MJ inside the wooden kinesis pipe. Energy transfer nodes from extra utilities will convert power from Buildcraft power to RF. So if we hook this guy up right here, what we should be having is RF being powered in here, I believe. And we're going to find out in a moment if this is working, because we're going to check, where's all my power? You should be working. Maybe you don't like connecting directly. Maybe I need a gold line here. If I need a gold line here first, that's fine, but I didn't think I did. I thought this would just work. Let's see. I didn't want to have to do this, but let's see if this is going to work. Here, let's see. Pipe. Golden kinesis pipe. I didn't really think this was necessary. It should connect right in. Unless I need to give this guy a good hit with the wrench, but I shouldn't need to. Powering one connection. Alright, let's try this then. You ready? Let's try it like so. And I might have to fiddle with this a little bit. There we go. Now we've got power coming in. So gold power pipe was required. I didn't remember that being a requirement, but it looks like it is. But now what we should have, as you can see, there's RF coming in. And we can see also that we should be getting power in our machines. Now we're talking. Look at that. Nice. So that's the trick we're going to use to get machine power through our cabling for RF power. Now some machines will take Buildcraft power, not a problem. We can just hook up pipes directly to it and we'll be in good shape. Other machines require RF power. We'll be able to handle that as well. You, sir, are not allowed here. Go away. So I'll have to figure out how to deal with those mages. I think I'm just going to have to put lights in my room. Arg. Frustrating, but what are you going to do? All right, for now, though, it is time to wrap up the episode. So Direwolf 20 signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I'm just going to, mess around with these things a little bit and make sure everything's configured the way I would like them to be. You can export on the right and you can import on the left because typically that's the way we want that to go. And I could probably even charge up my resonant flux capacitor. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. So now we've got power flowing through our base, through our cabling. We've got most of our auto crafting stuff around. I think what I'm going to do is wrap up the episode here, give it an upload for you guys to start playing around with. And then next episode, like I told you, we'll probably have to come back, finish the base move within the next day or two, or the next episode or two. And then we should be done and we can start working on some other really cool builds. All right, guys, take it easy.